Hey everyone, ready to get a little uncomfortable? We're doing a deep dive today into David Goggins
Yeah.
and his book, Can't Hurt Me.
Oh, yeah. Goggins' story it really grabs you
Totally.
right from the start.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't
Yeah.
sugarcoat his past at all.
Yeah.
Like, really tough childhood,
Yeah.
abusive father,
Yeah.
learning disabilities,
Right.
facing racism.
It's hard to even imagine
I know.
overcoming all of that.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it so
Yeah.
inspiring to see him become
Right.
an ultramarathon runner
Exactly.
and a Navy SEAL.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like how
Gives you wonder.
did he do it?
I know.
How did he push past all that?
That's where this callousing the mind idea comes in.
Okay. Right.
The more you do it,
Yeah.
the tougher your hands get.
Yeah.
Goggins says we can do the same thing with our minds.
Okay, so I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
But how do we actually callous our minds?
Mhm.
Is it just doing hard things over and over again?
Exactly. Like, let's say
Yeah.
you start taking cold showers.
Yeah.
That first one is brutal, right?
Oh, yeah.
But if you keep at it,
Yeah.
it becomes less shocking.
Okay.
You've essentially trained your mind
Right.
to handle that discomfort.
Yeah.
Your baseline for what feels tough
Yeah.
has shifted.
So my mind is getting tougher,
Mm-hmm.
just like my hands would from lifting.
Exactly.
Okay. But if I'm being honest,
Yeah.
I tend to give up on things pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
How do I know I'm not just using 40% of my potential,
Oh, that's good.
like Goggins says?
That 40% rule is a powerful concept.
Yeah.
It challenges us to really question
Okay.
our perceived limits. Our brains are hardwired for self-preservation.
Right.
So they often tell us to stop
Okay.
before we've actually reached our full capacity.
So my brain might be hitting the brakes
It might be.
long before my body's actually done.
Could be. Yeah.
That's kind of frustrating, but also kind of exciting
Right.
because it means I might be capable of way more than I realize.
That's the point
Like-
Goggins is trying to make. He's not saying we should push ourselves
Yeah.
to the point of injury or anything,
Okay.
but just to be aware
Right.
of when our minds are giving up too soon.
And dopamine
Oh, yeah.
and how that plays into all of this.
Mhm.
But I got to admit,
Yeah.
I'm not really a science person.
Okay.
So can you break down like the bro science version for me?
Yeah. So dopamine is this neurotransmitter
Oh,
that's linked to motivation and reward.
Okay.
And we get a hit of it
Mm-hmm.
when we experience something pleasurable.
Okay.
The problem is those dopamine spikes
Uh-huh.
are followed by crashes,
Okay.
leading us to crave
Yeah.
more intense stimuli
Gotcha.
to feel good again.
So I'm constantly chasing
Yeah.
that next hit of dopamine,
Yeah.
whether it's from junk food or social media
Yeah.
or whatever, gives me that quick fix.
Totally.
But then I need more and more
You got it.
to get the same feeling.
Exactly.
Right.
We get trapped in this cycle
Uh-huh.
of seeking
Good.
ever-increasing stimulation,
Yeah.
which ultimately leaves us feeling dissatisfied.
Right.
And Goggins argues that
Yeah.
by intentionally choosing discomfort.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You're saying by doing things I don't want to do,
Yeah.
I can rewire my brain to
Yeah.
feel more lasting satisfaction.
It sounds crazy, right?
That's pretty counterintuitive.
I know, but think about it.
Okay.
We're constantly bombarded with messages
Yeah.
to seek comfort and pleasure.
Right.
But Goggins is challenging us
Yeah.
to embrace the struggle, to understand that discomfort
Yeah.
can actually be a pathway to growth.
So instead of like scrolling through my phone for hours,
Huh?
I should be pushing myself to do something I've been avoiding,
Right.
like finally cleaning out my closet.
There you go.
It's all about choosing the harder option,
It is.
even if it doesn't feel good in the moment.
You got it.
Okay.
It's not about seeking suffering for its own sake,
Yeah.
but about recognizing
Yeah.
that real growth
Yeah.
often happens outside of our comfort zones.
This is making me rethink my approach to,
Yeah,
well, everything.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is a shift in how we think about things.
So how do we actually apply this
Mm-hmm.
to our everyday lives?
Yeah.
The YouTube video kept talking about
Mm-hmm.
finding your pain point. What does that even mean?
Well,
Like, does everybody have a different pain point?
absolutely. What's hard for one person
Okay.
might be a total breeze for someone else.
Right.
Self-awareness is really key here.
Oh.
You need to know your own
Okay.
strengths and weaknesses
Yeah.
so you can figure out where you're holding yourself back.
So if going to the gym's like
Right.
easy for me now,
Mm-hmm.
I need to find like a new challenge
Yeah,
to push myself.
exactly.
But what if I'm not really sure what that next step should be?
That's where some real honesty comes in.
Okay.
What are you avoiding?
Mm.
Is there a project you're putting off?
Uh,
A tough conversation you're dreading?
okay.
A skill you've been too scared to learn?
You know, now that you mention it,
Mm-hmm.
I've been meaning to learn how to code
Oh, yeah.
forever,
Mm-hmm.
but I keep making excuses.
Yeah.
It seems so overwhelming.
Right.
That could be my next pain point to tackle.
There you go.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be like this massive life-altering challenge.
What?
Sometimes those smaller discomforts
Yeah.
are the best places to start
Right.
to build that mental toughness.
So it's like I'm training my mind
Yeah.
to be okay with.
Yeah.
This is hard
Right.
instead of running away.
You got it.
Uh,
And over time, those things that seemed impossible might start to feel more manageable.
Okay.
You'll be surprised at what you can achieve
Yeah.
when you start pushing past those limits.
This is starting to click for me,
Good.
but I'm also a little worried
Yeah.
about pushing too far.
Mm.
Is there a danger of burning out
Oh, that's a good point.
if I'm constantly seeking discomfort?
Goggins definitely isn't advocating
Okay.
for reckless self-destruction.
Right.
It's more about finding that sustainable balance,
Okay.
pushing yourself, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but also knowing when you need to rest and recover.
So it's not like going from couch potato to
Yeah.
ultra marathon runner overnight.
Yeah.
It's more like gradual progress,
Yeah,
listening to my body along the way.
exactly.
Okay.
Small, consistent steps
Yeah.
will get you much further than like random bursts of intense effort.
Gotcha.
It's finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
where you're challenged,
Right.
but not totally overwhelmed.
Goggins' ideas are making me think differently
Yeah.
of how I approach challenges
Hmm.
in like every area of my life.
That's the cool thing about his message. It's
Mhm.
not just about like physical feats of strength.
Yeah.
It's about really mastering your mind.
Okay.
It's a philosophy you can apply to your
Yeah.
job, your relationships,
Okay.
your health,
Yeah.
anything where you want to see growth.
Okay. So let's say I'm having trouble meeting a deadline at work.
Uh-huh.
How can I use these concepts in that situation?
Well, instead of giving into procrastination,
Well,
think about that 40% rule.
right.
Could you push yourself a little further?
Okay.
Maybe break the project down into
Oh, yeah.
smaller tasks.
Right.
It's about making that discomfort
Yeah.
more manageable.
Okay. And what if I'm feeling anxious? You
Yeah.
know, about a social situation,
Hmm.
like a big networking event.
Okay.
Should I just force myself to go,
Yeah.
even though I'm dreading it?
That's one way to do it.
Okay.
But maybe there's a way to kind of callous your mind
Yeah.
to that social discomfort
Okay.
little by little.
Right.
Could you start by going to smaller gatherings,
Mm-hmm.
practicing your conversation skills
Okay.
in like lower pressure situations?
So like finding those stepping stones.
Exactly.
Okay.
That will help me
Yeah.
conquer that bigger challenge.
Mhm.
And remember, it's not about being perfect.
Okay.
It's those small victories,
Mm-hmm.
those moments you push past your comfort zone that lead to lasting change.
This whole conversation is making me realize
Yeah.
how often I let my fear and discomfort
Uh-huh.
control my choices.
It's a common thing.
Yeah.
But Goggins reminds us that we have the power to choose differently.
Right.
We can choose to face our fears head on
Right.
and use them as fuel for growth.
His message is really empowering.
It is.
It's like he's saying,
Yeah.
you're capable of so much more
Oh,
than
yeah.
you think.
He's right.
Wow.
We all have that potential.
Okay.
It's just a matter of tapping into it.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Do you think there are certain types of people
Mm-hmm.
who are just naturally drawn to Goggins's philosophy?
Mm.
Like, are some people just wired to
Well.
embrace discomfort more easily?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely a range when it comes to
Okay.
how comfortable we are with discomfort.
Right.
Some people might thrive on pushing those boundaries,
Yeah.
while others might need a more gentle approach.
Okay.
But I believe that the things Goggins talks about
Yeah.
can be adapted to fit anyone's personality and
Okay.
goals.
So it's not about trying to force ourselves
Right.
into like a mold that doesn't feel right.
No, not at all.
It's more about finding what works for you.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's no one-size-fits-all approach. The
Right.
key is to experiment,
Yeah.
see what works for you,
Mm-hmm.
and be kind to yourself along the way.
This has been such an insightful deep dive.
Yeah, it has.
I'm starting to see how Goggins' ideas can be applied to so many different things in life.
It really is a message that stays with you. It
Yeah.
reminds us that we all have that power to choose growth,
Yeah.
to choose resilience, to choose a life that is truly fulfilling.
Yeah, it's like he's saying stop playing it safe
Right.
and start living with more purpose.
Exactly. And recognize that the path to a good life,
Yeah,
it isn't always going to be comfortable.
right.
There will be tough times,
Yeah,
setbacks, times you want to give up.
but it's those times when we keep going.
Exactly.
Despite all that,
Yeah.
that's when we learn what we can really do.
That's what makes his message so powerful.
Yeah.
It's not about pretending life's not hard. It's about embracing it.
It's about recognizing that those hard parts, those times we feel like we're hitting a wall,
Yeah.
those are the things that make us strong
Exactly.
and resilient.
He's not saying it's easy,
Right.
but he's saying it's worth it.
It's like that old saying, no pain, no gain.
Right.
But Goggins takes it even further.
Yeah, he does.
He's not just saying endure the pain. He's
Yeah.
saying seek it out.
Right.
Embrace the pain as part of growing.
And I think that's why so many people connect with it.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like you have the power.
Yeah.
Reminds you that you're in control more
Yeah.
than you realize.
It's about taking ownership of our choices,
It is?
even when they're tough. Instead of being a victim,
Right.
we can create our own future.
And that's a powerful message.
Yes.
It can help you break free from all that, like
Yeah.
limiting beliefs,
Yeah.
self-doubt,
Mm-hmm.
achieve things you never thought possible.
As we wrap up this Goggins deep dive, I'm left thinking, okay, what's next?
Mm-hmm.
What have I been putting off that could change everything?
That's the question to ask yourself.
Yep.
It could be something huge or
Yeah.
something small.
Okay.
The important thing is to find that thing where
Yeah.
you're holding yourself back
Yeah.
and take that first step
Okay.
toward change.
And remember, it's not about being perfect
Yep.
or getting it all right away.
Right.
It's about those little efforts every day.
Uh-huh.
When you choose courage over comfort,
Yeah.
that's where the real change happens.
Well said. Goggins gave us the map.
Yeah.
Now it's up to us to take the journey.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Can't Hurt Me.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
We hope it inspired you to embrace the suck
Mm-hmm.
and unlock your full potential.